on yet? Okay.
Just have to unmute it when you're ready.
We're trying to boot up now.
Okay. Shall I give him a few minutes or a minute? Hmm? Oh, I was.
Sorry.
I had it in my hand and I let it go. We'll call this meeting to order with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was going to say, I saw you come in.
Thank you, Mayor Williams. Thanks for the opportunity to pray for you all. Well, Lord, thank you again for this night, this time to meet as the council. Lord, I just pray for wisdom for them. Lord, thanks for the programs and ministries in our community that help our people here. And Lord, thanks for a new police officer, Lord, that's part of our force here. Give you thanks in all these things. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Councilor Burke.
Here.
Councilor Berger.
Here.
Councilor Ian Smith.
Here.
Councilor Kristen Smith.
Here.
Councilor Taylor.
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman.
Here.
Roll call is complete, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Welcome everyone here. I'm glad to see so many faces out in the audience. Some people are online. I don't actually have any announcements, but
I have one. So this I won't even be staying for the whole meeting, but this is my last meeting as Libby City Councilman. I've been given the opportunity to be a patrolman with the City of Troy, so I will be moving to Troy. I just have a couple of closing remarks. Number one, thank you to the people for allowing me to be a leader in this community. It was very eye-opening, and I learned a lot. It was a really good experience, and I can't thank everybody enough. I hope I lived up to your standards, very much so. Secondly, if you want to see change in government, get involved. That's on you. You know, I did what I could, and you know, I hope to pass the buck on to somebody else. And the last thing that I want to leave everybody with is no politician deserves to be comfortable for long. Thank you.
thank you very much for your 14 months. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So, does anyone else have any announcements? Okay. We'll move on to approval of minutes of the regular council meeting 1670 from February 3rd.
Make a motion we approve meeting minutes 1670.
Second.
Okay. Are there any additions or corrections to this set of minutes?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I will be abstaining. I was not present.
Neither was I. I apologize.
Should we start over?
I was going to say, that doesn't actually leave us a quorum to approve these minutes.
Oh.
So, although you can vote on them as long as you feel that the substance of them it accurately reflects the minutes or the meeting.
Okay.
You were going to say something?
Well, there's three of us here who were present at the meeting, present voting.
Okay.
I mean, at this point going forward, we'll never have a quorum, so, of people who are present.
Oh,
Yeah.
Correct.
okay.
We were the only other three
Sure.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any comments on the minutes themselves? Okay, is any public comments on these minutes? Public comments? Public comments? Then I guess we will go all in favor of the minutes, noting that there are only 3 voting people who were present to vote for these minutes.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then we will tentatively approve these minutes. Move on to, I rearranged the agendas, you can tell. I separated all the reports out to, first up is the department heads or staff reports. Typically, other than Mr. Sykes, those only give a report on the first meeting, and so in the future you might not see all of these on the agenda. But tonight I put them on there just to show what staff reports we usually get. So we'll start off with Mr. Sykes.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council, good evening. For the building report, thus far this year, we've sold 20 permits for $33,061. At this time last year, we had sold 20 permits for $9,380. The big difference is one permit that was sold actually had 13 buildings for that Covenant housing going down on Commerce Way. So it was a lot larger than the normal one. So far the roof for the year we've sold permits for 8 new roofs, 15 new buildings, 1 major remodel, 1 carport, 1 addition, and 1 deck being added. I started looking at the 4-year average where we would be, and right now we're 4-year average would be 20,900. So we're falling directly in between the last 2 years. But we've had quite a few commercial that come in without having a commercial inspector that we couldn't sell that the state have sold on that. So that's the building report. And then for the sewage, we're losing another employee. He sought employment elsewhere. He got it over at a different place. So we'll be going back out. So if anybody knows somebody being interested in a career at the sewer plant, we're going to be opening that up here in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that's my report, Madam Mayor and Council.
Thank you. So Mr. Williams will be here at the next meeting, that he'll be here on the 1st. And you said you didn't really have any finance report, which brings us to the police department. And Mr. Chief Brock will be swearing in our new officer and giving a little introduction to the public.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you for having us tonight. We're really excited to bring on our newest officer, Timothy Stevenson. Tim comes here from California. His family's been here for about 3 years now. He's adjusting well to the cold life. In that time, he also went to Meridian, Idaho, where he finished lineman school and just felt the urge to serve and wanted to get into law enforcement. He's got a long line of law enforcement in his family, coming from a blue blood family. His father was California Highway Patrol as well as his grandfather. So he's grown up in this life, and he's really excited about it. And obviously, he's got quite a bit of support from the community to help him through this transition. We're really excited to have him. So, great. Raise your right hand.
I, Tim Stephenson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Tim's father, George, and his wife, Mandy. We will be painting today. We're very excited for Officer Stevenson to join us. He's very eager to learn, and it's going to be a great career to watch. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on from there to council, the council committees. First up is the building committee.
We haven't had a meeting yet on the Blackbird request, but we schedule in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you. Fire report.
Yes, Libby Volunteer Fire Department responded to 9 calls in the month of January 2025. 2 calls in the city, 4 calls in the rural fire district. 3 calls were outside of the city and rural fire district. 1 vehicle, 2 structure, mutual aid with Libby ambulance, 2, 3 false alarms, and 1 miscellaneous. They were sitting at a total of 9 calls so far by the end of January. And that's it.
Thank you. Light Street sidewalks. Mr. Zimmerman? Light Street
Yes.
sidewalks.
So We are having a meeting. I'm going to be scheduling that with Leanne tomorrow for next Wednesday at noon, the 26th? Okay. At noon here in the council chambers. We'll be going over the information. There's a new lot lines and stuff from KBIS surveying that the suitors have on their request for land abandonment down on City Service Road.
Okay. Ordinance?
The ordinance committee will also be having a meeting next week, Tuesday the 25th at 6:15, and we'll be revisiting the distracted driving ordinance at the request of the chief and the mayor.
Okay. Thank you. There's no water and sewer, there's no wildlife, which brings us to the board commissions. The board commissions, the city county health board and the park district really only report quarterly, only meet quarterly. And the planning zoning is currently meeting as needed, which I understand you do have a meeting coming up from a request.
Yes, we have a meeting next Monday, the 24th. It's just sort of an administration meeting.
Okay.
We'll be reviewing some minutes.
All right.
I will also say, Madam Mayor, that Board of Health is not going to be meeting again until May 13th. So
Okay.
there won't be anything to report until the first meeting in June.
I knew they had moved to quarterly. I didn't realize they had made such a large gap.
Well, there's going to be people gone in April when we go.
Okay, so, all right, thank you. Yes.
Stepping back a minute, ordinance, we're scheduling a meeting for next week as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next Tuesday, 6:15.
Someone was listening.
I wrote it down.
You wrote it down?
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us to public comment on items not on the agenda. If you have a comment to make on an item that's not on the agenda, step to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. So, public comment, items not on the agenda. Public comments? Okay, public comments. Mr. Beebe.
Yes, ma'am. John Beebe, 704 East 9th. Speaking regarding the letter from Mayor Williams to Chad Benson, Forest Supervisor, supporting that MMC project. I want to thank you. And
You could actually do that while it's on the agenda, when we're at that agenda point. Backside.
well, I missed it. I'm sorry.
Okay?
I apologize.
Thank you though, John. Made me feel better.
Okay. Any public comments on items not on the agenda? Public comments? Then we will move on to new business. First up is to approve the 2-year budget for the Local Government Study Commission. Is Mr. Bakken or Mr. Beebe going to speak to that? The budget?
Speaking of the budget, Vince Bakken, Study Commission with us. Well, we just did the template as an overall budget, trying to hit the $30,000 mark. We anticipate that we're in no way going to use that money, all that money. Our anticipation is to use very little of it. And it would be nice if we could adjust this budget in the future or do it now, but in the future, because we're not going to use much of it, we would like to use some of the money to rent space at the old high school for an office over there. We're using the Mackey Theater now for our meetings, not because we don't want to upset the office here. And we know that we are a bit of a nuisance at times. So if it's possible, we'd like to discuss using $200 a month during our commission being in session, which we don't anticipate to be for 2 years, to rent a small office at the high school. If you'd like to know why we want to use it, I'll tell you. Would you like to know?
Well, I have some concerns about that.
Yes. Go ahead, give us your concerns.
Well, so this is an endeavor that was voted upon by the City of Libby residents, and this is our house where the city conducts its business. So it seems like we're not in session except twice a month. There should be plenty of opportunity to utilize this space on the other 28 days of the month. And it might be very beneficial to have just sort of a regular meeting schedule for the public to know. Like the fourth Wednesday of the month, the local study commission will always be meeting in council chambers. I don't know why, as a taxpayer who voted for this initiative, we should spend money to rent space somewhere else.
And, I mean, we also have the Ponderosa room that, I mean, we've got more than enough ample space that's free around here, more or less, instead of paying for something, using taxpayer money for that.
We use taxpayers' money for everything around here. We don't tell you how to run your committees, but I will tell you this, the Mackey Theater suits us better. We don't have people walking down the halls. We want to meet during the day. We want to meet more often than you. I'll give you a great example of this. When a council member comes into this chambers that are elected and they sit down, there's an entire infrastructure already in existence. There's already ordinances, resolutions, there's methodologies, there's meeting times, there's how to set the agenda. You guys got everything. One person sits down and everything's beautiful. For us, after 10 years of not having a study commission, we're starting from the ground zero. We don't have anything. We need a lot of time to get this stuff done. That's why we need more time. We have studied the law requiring the commission to be here and the voters that voted for it. And if you're going to spend as much time as I have studying it, you'd probably be on my side. We don't have we want an office here, but we don't have an office here. An office has to have a door, a lock, filing cabinet. This is our opinion, the commissioner's opinion. We need an office, and if anybody thinks that's an office, they're wrong. We'll have private things in there. We'll have interviews. We'll have working sessions where we don't need to be disturbed, or do we need to disturb you guys? That's our opinion. That's the commission's opinion.
I have another question. What is the plan for the community engagement piece that you've got 4,000 budgeted for?
No. We are working on that now. Have you seen our timeline? Did you get our timeline?
No.
Did you get our bylaws? Come to the meetings, you'll get all the information you want. If you came today to the Mackey Theater, you could have asked us questions. We would have had, I would have all my paperwork in front of me to answer the questions.
Sorry, but when you have your meetings, I'm at work.
Yeah, I mean that's.
It's okay.
Every email and agenda you put out in your minutes,
Yeah.
I'm reading them all, but they're not always there.
You don't have all of them. You just
No.
have the ones I put out,
Mhm.
or we put out. We're a commission, right? And we need many, many hours to get this done right. Many hours. To do it right, we need many, many hours.
So
If you read the
wondering-
history of the other ones, they had polls, they had studies, they had interviews. They spent a lot of time in 1976 on this, and in 1989. And so are we. We're going to, you know how much time we spend voluntarily? We don't get paid no money either. Our heart is into this. And when we're all done with it, everybody in Libby will be proud.
Mary,
All of you will be proud.
Are we allowed to approve a one-year budget?
But
There's an
Or
issue
does it
with that.
have to, if does the whole budget have to be approved at once?
the thing of it is, the resolution that funded the study commission was for 2 years at $30,000.
Mhm.
So they've got $30,000 for the 2-year period, no matter how they spend it.
We don't
Okay.
expect to use much of that at all.
Okay.
That's why I called it the 2-year budget, because they don't get refunded next year.
I have Madam Mayor.
Sure.
Today I put out, I think Hugh might have got it, somebody might have got it, in our purpose, benefits, and mandates. It was on the email.
So,
It was at our meeting today. And the purpose, did you get it, Hugh?
Yes, I did.
Okay. This is a great document. This is the document that we're working on to give to the people. It gives us the legal authority of the commission. It gives the purpose of the commission. It gives almost a complete breakdown of the mandates of the commission. And then if you tie that in with the timeline, you'll see it's very well organized. You know, very, very well organized. And we're still working on it. We have bylaws now for the commission because we're supposed to develop all of this. Like I said, we come in with nothing at all.
And so will there be a place on the city's website where all this information, for those who cannot attend every meeting, to be able to access?
May I?
Yes.
We're right in the middle of building a new website, and there will be a place on there.
We don't want to be completely autonomous with it. Like, we agreed today not to have a commission Facebook page. As a commission, we don't want to have a Facebook page. This is an example right there. We want to have Zoom meetings. We want to have interviews. We want to have people that come to the office with their. That was a big part of this commission, is that to get the people involved to come to the commission with their complaints, with their concerns, with what's great. A lot of compliments for the city of Libby, the way it exists today. I mean, I hear from everybody now, hey Vince, how about this, how about that? We have an issue with people that have, they want to make a complaint about something that isn't even legally binding. When you look at the ethics code of the state of Montana, it's about elected officials and officers not using their power to influence or to gain favorable outcomes of things, right? That's the ethics. When people start complaining about the city, I will say to them all the time, that has nothing to do with ethics. Because your tax rate's up, that has nothing to do with ethics. Bring something that's unethical, and then the commission will address it. But there's none. There's absolutely no ethical issues in the city of Libby. As I've said to a few people, including the police chief, and also to Sam, I said, the best thing this commission can do is to bring out that the city of Libby has no issues. We get to be the voice to say, you bring it all to us, and the city of Libby's doing great. That's our mission.
So,
our mission is to assume,
I'm sorry.
watch, our mission is to assume that everything in the city of Libby is fine. We assume that. We don't assume the other. Now, you might think DC Orr does it the other way around. He's one man. Me and John are two. You guys are going to be proud of what we do. Let us do it.
So I guess I'm a little confused because I thought the goal of the study commission was to study our form of government, our structure of government.
That's
not,
one thing.
Not like,
That's one thing.
I mean, complaints are a mile long for anybody.
But that's only one thing of the study commission.
I make a motion that we approve the 2-year budget for the local study commission.
Second.
Can we please consider the office?
I have a comment about their budget.
Okay.
I reviewed it when they wrote it. The problem I have is part of the reason for a study commission is transparency.
Yes.
Your budget went out to the public with the agenda. So now you're asking us to modify the budget. The public has not had a chance to see what modifications you want to the budget.
Absolutely. And that's going to come up next Wednesday. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
So to approve a budget that the public has not had a chance to see.
It's null and void.
No, that's right.
Well,
You're
I
right.
disagree.
You're right.
This is public. It's on the agenda.
But then they got a copy.
But he's
right
talking
off the
about
email
changing it.
That's going to be, they want
The
to
numbers
change
are going to be
rate.
changed and skewed.
There's already.
You wanted us to approve a different amount.
No, you don't have to do it today. I'm just saying we want, on Wednesday, we're going to have another meeting with you, and we'll talk about fine tuning that budget, because we're not going to use all that money. You know that, Hugh.
Absolutely. So
If
let's,
we wanna do-
let's
we just wanna
approve
do
the
a good
final
job.
budget then.
Pardon me?
Let's approve the final budget then.
Okay,
Okay.
actually,
Can I say one thing? Is there not enough in this budget for the rental?
Absolutely there is.
Okay.
so which
Absolutely.
line
But-
item?
but
So
which
we're
line
already,
item?
we're already there.
Yeah, you already have all that
Just
money.
approve all expenditures, just
Yeah,
like we were later
okay.
tonight about.
And Leanne informed me of that today.
So,
But whether something gets shifted, you know, something from community engagement goes into space rental, I mean, that's, the total's the total, so whether things get moved around, doesn't really matter.
Okay. Or, do you have a comment?
no, I'm just kind of a little confused about where we're at. Are you still confused?
No, I was just confused about, I heard somebody mention like that they may need more money or something, but no.
No,
You have
we
more
don't need
than
more
enough.
money.
This
Absolutely
is
not.
what we're approving then?
Yeah,
Okay.
this amount.
The
Okay.
total amount, and
Yeah.
the line items may individually
Right.
change.
Good.
Thank
Okay.
you, guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
I need to open it for public comment. So are there public comments on the Government Study Commission budget?
Karen Dinkins, 1210 Dakota Avenue. As you all know, I started out on the Government Commission, but because I'm going to be moving out of town, I resigned from the commission. So to answer a few of your questions, there has not been all of the minutes and stuff that should have gone out. The meetings are scheduled for the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, so they are every month here at 5:30. The minutes are going out in the 48 hours prior to with the agenda. I was doing the minutes. I offered to help them with the minutes for a brief period of time. Not going to be doing that anymore, but the last set of minutes will go out before the next meeting. At the last meeting, there was also discussion about, as you said, community engagement. There's a timeline that's out there that they've put together that will go out in the agenda. The timeline shows when the first public meeting is going to be, where it's going to be. Obviously, they did have a meeting today. So there is a lot of information that's coming out, and I think that, you know, it's taken a little bit to get to the point of where they're at, but you'll be seeing more information. So I just thought I'd add that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments on the Study Commission budget?
A lot of questions. John Beebe, 704 East 9th. I'm vice chair of the commission. A lot of questions, good questions. Thank you for them. Let me just give you a quick update. I just got on board because Karen stepped down in the process of the training, and you are correct. The commission is to study the legislative body. That being said, there's 6 different legislative bodies to pick from: executive mayor, executive manager, township, charter. Some are legislatively ruled, some are not. The charter is by far, is what we have, is by far the best, I think, for us at this time. But this, we've determined nothing. We've got our basic process in place. We've got our chair. We've got our vice chair. I'm the vice chair. DC's the chair. Vince is the secretary. We've got that done. We just approved our bylaws, and that was our first order of business in the legislative body. We've just got that done. We have not published them yet. We just had 2 working meetings. We've had 7 public meetings since November. The timeline will be published tomorrow in the paper. We just had submitted this preliminary budget to you for approval because there's a time limit involved there, the 19th, for approval. Now, subject to budgetary rules that are statutorily required, we can move line item money around, and it's a matter of moving forward, this is a process that's gonna take 2 years, and we're in the very first part of that process. And the next order of business is going to be a public engagement campaign. You know, we're going to be at the farm to market. We're going to be at the summer solstice events. We have a tent that we're going to set up. We're going to post it so that we don't have to worry about quorum issues. We'll make a public posting for these events. And this is about the public. This is of the people, by the people, for the people. And the more public engagement we can gather, the better. This goes to being, for example, at Mackey Theater, we're closer to the center of town. If we have a full-time office there that's staffed, welcome public to that, create the public engagement. I mean, you guys all know that public is somewhat disenfranchised from government activities. We want to engage the public and enfranchise them in their local government. And we're going to be looking at gathering, up until our preliminary report, we're going to be gathering information for dissemination and assessment. All kinds of stuff. Basically, I want to hear from you guys. You're the ones involved in government. You have the best perspective of what kind of changes should or should not be made, what type of legislation requirements should be added. According to MSU, this is a convention of our Constitution. The charter is the City of Libby's Constitution. And what this study is a constitutional convention. And it's going to take time, and it is a process. And again, I want to encourage public participation, and we're going to be doing a public campaign for engagement and feedback, for assessment of what the people want, because this is going to be at the end submitted to the people for a vote. They don't have a clue of the 6 different types of government there is. Some of it's education, but it's all about public engagement, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to vote on any recommended changes, should there be any. But right now, we're in this preliminary phase, and there are a lot of questions, and we all, within the commission, want to encourage that, both from the legislative end, the executive end, and the public end. And I'm even going to take a look at the judicial end of this too. I mean, this is in our Constitution. I will note that Montana is unique. We're the only one state in the whole United States that has this process in our Constitution. So thank you very much. I hope I answered your questions. If you have more, hey, let's talk. Please, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other public comments on this budget? Any other public comments on the budget? Public comments? Then call the motion. All in favor of approval of these budgets?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Your budget is approved. That brings us to the letter in support of Montanor. I sent it out with a deadline for the council to comment back on it, and nobody really commented other than they were okay with it. So,
I'll make a motion, we approve the support letter from Montanor.
Second.
okay. I assume that there aren't any changes to be addressed, since no one gave me any. Okay. Any public comment on the letter? There is a copy over there.
Can I go up now?
You can come up now. This is the appropriate time.
Thank you, Mayor. John DB, 704 East 9th. I've been in contact with our federal and state representatives on this, and of course I have pitched to you guys to support this, and I really appreciate the letter and the support of that. Libby needs this, and thanks again for your support.
Okay. Any other public comments on regarding the letter? Public comments regarding the letter? Okay, I do have one thing to say. We printed off 2 back sheets. One would just have my signature on it, or if you would prefer, the council would prefer, we do have a sheet that all of you can sign as supporters of the letter. I don't know which one you would rather do. But if you need to sign, you need to sign it tonight if that's your preference. Okay? Other than that, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. The letter is approved. And I've asked you to sign it tonight, and I'll get it out in the next couple of days. Or no, tomorrow. Brings us to the reappointments of Roberta McCants to the Planning and Zoning Board and Mark Andreessen. I put them on here separately because of their different expiring dates on their terms. I am trying to bring the Planning Board and Zoning Board into a more level expiration times. With these changes, that's why one's a 2-year appointment, one's a 3-year. That would have 2 people expiring in 26, 2 in 27, and 2 in 28. So hopefully we can then get onto that rotation.
Make a motion, we reappoint Roberta McCants for her term on the Planning and Zoning Board.
Okay. Any comments regarding this appointment? Any public comment? Public comments regarding the appointment? Public comments? Public comments? Okay. Then all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Roberta is reappointed to the Planning and Zoning Board. And the next was Mark Andreessen.
I'll make a motion to Mark Andreessen to the Planning and Zoning Board.
I'll second.
Any comments? Then any public comments regarding this appointment? Public comments regarding the appointment? Public comments, okay. Then all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mark, thank you for being so willing to serve on this board. I know sometimes you don't get a lot of, you get a lot of complaints and no glory, but thank you, we appreciate it. So it brings us to approve all claims received to date.
Make a motion, we approve all claims received to date.
Second.
They're going to get a chance to see the claims? Okay. Any public comments on the claims? Public comments? Public comments. Then all in favor of approval of claims?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claims are approved. Brings us to business license, Elite Fire Protection and Wyatt Delta Solar Incorporated.
Make a motion, we approve all business license applications received to date.
Second.
Okay. Any comments on either of these business license? Any public comments regarding these business license? Public comments? Public comments. Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Those 2 business licenses are approved, which brings us to, again, the discussion of the Libby Community Development Fund. I have not made any forward progress on that. Gail is looking through papers, so has she?
I was looking for the policy.
Okay.
I thought that was going to be our next step, was to take a look at that policy,
Okay.
see where we need to fix it, move stuff around.
Okay. Do you have some?
To be revisiting the policy
Thank you.
technically, because we did that and redlined it to death, and then it never went anywhere.
Right.
So let's not redline it to death, let's just
Okay.
shake it out and move it on.
Okay. So do you have some recommendations and suggestions for us to consider?
Well, I do.
I only seem to have redlined versions,
Yeah, I have
yellow.
yellow lines. Can we visit this the next meeting?
Sure. And we'll get some unread, unyellow, unread. Okay. Brings us to general comments from the council. I sent out late this afternoon yes. It is concerning the committees and council committees and trying to put on paper how we've always just kind of done it. started it with working with Gail because she felt she didn't really understand how committees flowed. And as we worked through it, it seemed like a good thing to put it in writing and then put it into our policies and procedures. So I sent that out late this afternoon. I probably will talk about it over the next 2 meetings or so, if everybody's agreeable with that.
Yeah, I think it's a really good synopsis of what we do. I mean, we do that already.
Yes, and that's what I tried to capture, how we do it without adding any undue burden apart from what we already have a policy, it's just not written down. And so it's hard for people coming in to pick up. So
the only thing that I thought was probably not necessary was the very last division.
Reports and...
Yeah, or no, it was like, once it moves on to the council,
Oh.
It just seemed unnecessary, but.
Okay, well, we can talk about that. I'll put it on the agenda for discussion. That's okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, and is there any other comments or discussion items?
Well, I guess we have an empty seat.
Yes, we will get that posted. And I'm not sure, I don't think we'll have it filled by the next meeting, but we will get it posted and see who, if you know a good person to fill the seat, that would be great. Okay?
Okay.
You entertain a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.